Welcome to this week's episode of Women in Power. Today I have Miss Genecia Alluora. She is Woman in Power Singapore. She has won Miss Singapore and Miss Singapore International. She represents Singapore not only once, but twice. Who does that? This woman, that's who. She also founded and is the creator of Soul Rich Woman Asia, and she connects about 200,000 plus women in the entrepreneurial space and really educates and elevates and motivates women to represent themselves at the highest level. So, without further ado, thank you so much for being on the show. It is such an honor and a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
It is wonderful to have you. So, okay, bring me back so my audience can understand. Have you always just been this successful go-getter type woman, or was this something you developed? How were you raised?
Well, a little bit of my backstory. You know, a lot of people thought that when I was Miss Singapore, they think that I'm born with a silver spoon.
That's what everyone would think. Looking at you, you looked so beautiful and so together and so intelligent. It's like, okay.
But it didn't start that way.
Okay.
I had to support myself through school since I was 14 years old, teaching yoga, aerobics, and line dancing through my school years. So I put myself through college, I put myself through university, so it was really tough.
So why did you have to support yourself at 14?
Well, at that time, my dad lost everything due to the financial crisis.
Was this in 2008?
Way back more.
Way back more. Okay, well, you look really young to me. Okay.
Yeah, and because of that, I had to come out and do my own stuff. And I think that has really molded me through my years. And then after that, I became an occupational therapist.
Wow.
Yes.
So at 14, when the crash happened, your father lost everything. Did he say, you have to go to work? Or was this now an initiative that you took on your own?
My mom kicked my ass. She pawned her gold, her jewelry to give me the money to do the certification as an instructor. So back then, I was the youngest instructor in Singapore. And then I went on to do classes, but it was not easy because when I'm seeing other girls doing things in their free time, they are going to the movies, going for shopping, and then I'm working after school. So can you imagine waking up 5 a.m. in the morning to go to school?
Not at 14.
And then 12 p.m., 1, you finish class. After that, project work, you finish about 4. And after that, I rest for about an hour, take a quick nap, and I rush for classes back to back from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Wow.
And by the time I reach home, I'm really exhausted. And that went on for many years.
So that's what I call the sacrifice phase, which you probably didn't appreciate at the time.
Oh, I totally hate it.
You hated sacrifice phase. Are you now glad that you did sacrifice phase?
Yes, definitely, because I've come a long way and I'm experiences now. It's time to share and shortcut other women's journey and empower others, because empowered women empower others.
Right. And so when you finally got to this point in your life where you feel like, was it just an urge where you felt like now it's my responsibility to help fast track other women? What point was that? Was it like a certain amount of money you made, or when were you like, okay, I now know how to take care of myself. I want to branch out and help others now. What point?
In 2006, I won Miss Singapore, and I became an image consultant, and that because of my experience teaching and training and coaching, having the extra skill set was quite easy for me to move forward. My clientele grew. There were CEOs of companies, directors of companies, as well as politicians here in Singapore. After that, I took on this skill and I went on to coach and mentor many women to transform their confidence from being an ugly duckling to a more confident version of themselves. So because I went through that transformation myself too, that movement actually gave me the confidence to do more in my life. In 2012, 2013, I told myself I'm no longer going to trade time for money, because as an image consultant, you work, you get paid, you work, you get paid, you work, you get paid.
That's right.
When you stop working, you don't get paid. So I said, you know what, I want to move this online. How can I go online?
Right.
So I went through a process seeking mentors, looking for coaches to coach me on the process, spent hundreds and thousands of dollars looking for resources to grow my knowledge, but
So you invested in yourself.
I invested in
How
myself.
did you have the hundreds of thousands of dollars? What
I saved over the years.
Wow.
I worked my way up. And then from there, I took my vision of helping more women to be more confident. And then I started a platform called You Are Possible Academy because I launched my own book in 2013. It's about personal branding. Then after that, I went online, right? That's when I made my first pot of gold.
Wow.
I crossed my
The
first
pot of
gold. Yeah. It was when I made my first $1 million.
Wow.
And then I invested and started a cafe retail chain. We were in 3 countries, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia.
Wow.
And then we had 7 outlets. We exited to a public listed company owner just recently.
Wow.
During this whole period, my heart has always been with the women, even though I was doing retail business.
Right.
And, you know, it was tough. And I was called to this. There's this like calling in the back of my head. It's like, Genecia, you gotta do this. You know, you can't just give up the women and just do a cafe retail chain. You gotta, you know, move up and do more. So during the time I was based in Indonesia for 2 years, running a cafe retail chain with my franchisee, I do online. I did webinars, I did online programs, I launched my membership programs.
Are you confident the whole time? Or are you scared, like the first webinar you did? Are you like, is this gonna be a disaster? Do you ever have self-doubt? Or is it just, you just go in positive the whole way?
It was tough because you didn't know how many audience were there. In fact, when I first switched on my webcam and used Google Hangouts back in 2013, there was 0 viewers, you know?
I love that.
And it grew from 1 to 10 and then to a first 100. And that's how You Are Possible Academy grew. Subsequently, the women...
How long did it take to grow?
About 3 years.
Perfect.
And I did about 1,000 webinars, probably. Every week I did one. Every week at Wednesday at 9 p.m.
They're free webinars?
Free webinars. So it's
and
like
would you speak about the branding?
Branding, how do you do funnels, marketing automation, how do you become more confident, what kind of...
How long are they?
About an hour.
Good, I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
and then I kind of moved all these things online, and you know, the women started to come in, and then they said, Genecia, can you not put Your Possible Academy? Because Singapore's education system has so tuned us to, like, you know, we're in school. So the women in my community feedback to me and said, Genecia, you got to choose a better name.
Because they don't like impossible.
They don't like the name Academy.
Academy.
They want something a little bit more like with depth and like with an inner
I like
shine.
Academy. They don't like Academy.
They don't like Academy.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's do a rebranding. So in 2015, I did a rebranding. It's called Soul Rich Woman, because all women have a soul that's rich, wealthy, and we shine when we have confidence from within. So Soul Rich Woman.
Okay, love this so far. If you said you went through the transformation yourself, were you an ugly duckling? No.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so how does an ugly duckling, which is very difficult for me to buy, by the way, but I'm going to buy it because I have no reason to believe you would lie to me. But how does an ugly duckling go to Miss Singapore and Miss Singapore International? How does that? How did you even know you had it within you in the first place?
You knew, back then I was bullied. I was really bullied by mean girls in school.
Wow.
You know, I was poor. I really didn't have any money to change my bags or even to change my clothes, besides the school clothes, right?
Right.
So the mean girls would come to me, you know, PE lessons, what we call physical activities. They will pull my shirt and then they'll pull open and then they'll see my bra and they're like, oh, you're wearing the same bra again, like that. And there were times they took my school bag and then they throw it across the classroom floor and my books would be all over the floor. And they're like, oh, well, like that.
Yeah.
So my self-esteem took a dip.
Yeah.
But you see, I started when I was 14 and I told myself that whatever my family situation may be, I'm not gonna give up.
Right.
Yeah, so I took on the...
Did you use that as the fuel to become determined to make it?
I knocked on doors and said, would you be willing to coach me in my public speaking?
Wow.
I knock on doors. Would you be open to willing to coach me on my image? Would you be willing to train me to walk and have good deportment? And that
Wow.
was when
Wow.
all these people, what we call the guardians and people who really helped me and coached me, mentored me to become Miss Singapore.
Wow.
And
And what did that feel like, being crowned Miss Singapore?
It was life-changing, really once in a lifetime opportunity, because for someone like me, it was a way out, and definitely it allowed me to travel the world. Since then, I've traveled more than 10, 20 countries, 50 cities, you know,
Wow.
because of my title Miss Singapore, it has given me so much
It's
privilege.
opened the door. Do people know
Yeah.
who you are when you walk on the street?
Yes, during that time, yes. Yeah, but now because I've taken a back seat, more focus on developing the platform Soul Rich Woman, so not so much in the front light, but fronting more on the business science.
So when you were crowned Miss, knowing that you had been bullied, that you're the girl that has to go and chase your books around, how do you now wear this crown and now transition from feeling a certain way as that girl to now all of a sudden people think that you're just that new girl, that new image? Don't you still have the same insecurities as the previous girl? And then what do you do? How do you transition into that life? You just kind of acknowledge them and move forward anyway, or?
I'm very blessed to be Miss Singapore. Really, doors opened for me. There were transformational causes that changed my life. I invested in myself, went for many, many different causes. In fact, in 2007, I went to Taiwan for a year and took on multiple transformational healing causes to let go of my past, my anger, my hatred, whatever. Feelings that all women sometimes have a tendency to hold and play again and again like a broken record. So I stopped completely on that, and my life completely flew from there. Yeah, so it was kind of like a stepping stone.
Do you feel like, or maybe you don't even think about this question, but do you think Asian women have the same advantages as the Western society, culture, Americans, Europeans, or do you think we're equal, or one has more than the other?
I believe all women have the same rights.
Yes.
They have same opportunities, same things that has been given to us. However, at the end of the day, Asia is a different animal. We have Vietnam, we are in Malaysia, we have, we just race alone, we have different races, and in different races we have different culture and dialects, and that different permutations, because Soul Rich Woman is in Southeast Asia. We're in 7 countries, and we're connecting almost 200,000 women across this region. And just alone, when we travel to different countries, we have to be a little bit different, because women at different in different phase of their life. Say, for example, when we went to Vietnam, in Hanoi, the women in Hanoi versus women in Ho Chi Minh are quite different. Women in Hanoi are a little bit more, they told me that they were stigmatized if they were to give up their jobs and go into entrepreneurship. Soul Rich Woman first went to Hanoi in Vietnam, we made a mistake. We didn't know. We were like, you must do a business, have a side hustle. Let's build your empire, right?
Right.
And then they said, oh no, but Genecia, this is not the culture here. Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh are 2 different breeds of women.
Wow.
So that's when we learned. We said, then what do you girls need? They said, we need more confidence in our daily lives to stand up for ourselves, to own our power. No, not just being a housewife and being a working person, but really be able to chase our dreams that has been swept under the carpet for a very long time. So that was what we did in Hanoi. So that is why in different countries, we do different things. Like in Malaysia, women are cited for 2 main reasons why they are not able to step out, because fear of failure and lack of support from family members. So that's why communities are so important. And that's why in Malaysia, we are also very strong. We have about 500 to 1,000 members over there.
Wow.
Yeah, supporting each other on their entrepreneurship journey.
So what do you tell the woman who's struggling maybe with a cultural issue of they want to step out, but they're not supported by their family, and they don't have the confidence yet to do it despite of, or maybe they don't want to do it because they don't want to lose the respect, or that's a toughie situation.
Really tough.
How do they come to you for advice? And if they do, what do you tell these women?
So these women needed more confidence in looking at their dreams and finding the time to love themselves most, because I find that the key to success for all women is self-love. Only when you are able to love yourself, that's when you can give. But most women are empty vessels because they give their kids, they give their husbands, they give to household chores, they give to everything else, but forgetting that self-love is the key.
And if they did that first, there would be more for the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Be a cup be full, so full and overflowing.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's awesome. So, and this soul-rich woman, what's your proudest like success story that's come out of that? Do women tell you like that she came from blah 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 and then went to like what's a good transformational story that really said I'm on the right path with this?
Wow, I have heard hundreds of stories. I think
That make it all worth it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the women, the main thing amongst all female entrepreneurs, the key thing is always about the C word, which is confidence, but most importantly is the F word.
The F word. I couldn't wait to talk to you about the F word. She has the F word. You want to tell them what it is?
Yes, for women who love the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. Yeah.
Okay, but first of all, does the F word translate as it does in America?
Yeah, usually.
Y'all have the F word here?
We have the F word here.
And y'all say the F word, like our F word?
But for, just joking. But it definitely, for us, when I talk about the F word, why I talk about financial independence and not financial freedom, because
What's the difference?
The difference is financial freedom, of course, you are free to do whatever you want. Probably you have passive income. But for a lot of women, when you're first starting out, how do you even first make a dollar? How do you first even make a first $1,000 if you're a stay-at-home mom?
Right.
How are
Good
you going to
question.
balance that?
If you haven't had education, you
Yes.
don't know what you want to do.
Precisely.
You don't know what you're good at.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay.
So you have to start somewhere. So if you are able to earn $1,000 every single month, passively or online through online businesses, can you imagine what lives
Oh
could
my
change?
gosh, yes.
You could buy the extra dress for your daughter.
And is this financial freedom or financial?
This is more financial independence. That's why I said we
Okay.
want to focus on helping women to be more financially independent. They could be receiving some money from their husbands, that's fine. But could they do something more for themselves? And because of that extra money that they have on hand, they could be more independent to make choices for themselves.
So let me ask you this. If they go for the financial independence, and let's say they have the side job, they're selling makeup on the side online.
Yes.
But they're not neglecting any of their responsibilities as a wife, a mother, or whatnot, whatever they agreed upon. So this income, does it go to the household, or should it be hers, or does that not matter? Separate or together? And
It will be her decision, but what I usually see is women usually keep it and hold it for emergency or things that they are always wanted to do. You see, we women must have a voice.
I'm the same way. I have our money, and then I have my money. But he has no problem with us having our money, and he has no problem with me having my money.
High
And
five.
I love that. I feel really blessed in that area. I'm like, thank you. Like, I don't know what it is in my brain that needs my little thing.
Yeah, because we need to make our own choices, and that's when we feel like we have a choice to choose whether we want to give you the money or we give our family the money, or I give my own dreams the money.
Yeah. To reinvest in yourself, which is what I've heard you say a number of times during this interview.
Yes. In fact, finding a mentor why we created Soul Rich Woman was to help women to go from offline to online, to be,
go ahead.
to be more confident and attract more customers, make a positive impact in the world. If you can't even have a say in what you want to do and be always a victim of your own circumstances, then I'm here to kick some ass, and really to get out of your comfort zone and go towards the dreams that you always wanted to achieve. So that is why being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence is so important.
Yes. And this is what's brought you kind of like alive. I see it in you. It's your passion. And you want this for other women.
Yeah, I
do too. I do too. I feel like happy, empowered women, or that have the confidence in themselves, they have no need to try to destroy another woman, try to throw their books across the hall, you know, because that came from something. Those girls have a problem, you know, like a happy woman or girl does not treat other people like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the more that a woman can help herself and find her own confidence, the more she just wants to help and love and nurture other people. I believe it's innately in us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
In fact, I really believe that alone you are strong, together we are unstoppable.
I say the same thing in this book, Build an Empire. I say, you know, I was raised to believe that I had to do everything by myself. Like I had to be Miss Independent, and I tried so hard and I could only get like this far. And it just so happened that when I got together with my husband and that I actually started to depend on somebody else and trust somebody else. And then from there, we added to the team and grew, and now we have staff and people that help us and build. But there is no, you're doing it on your own. No empire has ever been built on your own. It takes a team, it takes a village.
Yes. When a woman is empowered, the whole village benefits.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because she wants the best for everyone.
That's right.
Because she knows ultimately it's going to benefit herself and everyone involved.
Yes, so when we empower one, we touch a life, that one will pass on to the other. So we actually have a mentoring program for girls under 30. So this, we actually have cash sponsorships from different women who are more well-to-do. So they give us their cash sponsorships and they give us, so we fund this entire program in Singapore where we help underprivileged girls where they don't have those opportunities to learn skills beyond education, which is just the books and the four walls in school.
Kind of like you.
Yes. And then help them to give them an opportunity to, because not everybody can be Miss Singapore, let's put it this way.
That's right.
But can we give them a skill? Because if you give them a skill.
Everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Everyone can be an entrepreneur.
You believe that?
I believe that.
I do too.
Yeah. So, yeah, so if we, through this program, we want to equip these girls with skills so that they can start early. Why do you have to wait till you graduate?
Why did you have to wait till you went through the whole decade or whatever it was to figure it out? You figured it out. Here are the do's, here's the don't. Let's get you going.
Why do you have to wait until you get married and have kids and then after a failed marriage and then you come to me and then you say, Genecia, I need help. Why do you have to go through that?
Right.
Can we shorten it?
Fast track the process.
Yes.
That's what I wrote this book for. I want to fast track the process.
Precisely.
Yes. So can you tell my viewers, can my viewers in America join Soul Rich Women?
Oh yes, you can help. So we definitely need help here in Southeast Asia. We need time, we need resources, and we also need cash sponsorships. So time, if you are a volunteer, you can volunteer with us to be, let's say you have a skill that you want to share as an entrepreneur, you want to teach funnels, you want to teach how to overcome their mindset. You know, we welcome you if you have resources like a venue. So we work with people like Facebook, Mercedes-Benz. So these are like partners who give us their resources so that we can bring the community together. And that makes a lot of difference, right? So venue, if you have resources like a jet. So for example, girls who...
We've done that.
Yes, girls who are underprivileged have never had a chance to do all these things, right? And then if you have, you know, if you have cash and money to help us as well, to fund the project, to give girls, because we want to buy them good things, you know, we want to support the program, we want to give some trainers who help us pro bono fees, right? We can't expect everyone to do for free, because there is some sustainability within the platform itself, right?
Yes.
So yes, I took up my pot of gold, which is my cafe retail chain. We exited a public listed company. I took out all my money and I invested into the platform. So it has to succeed.
It will succeed. There is no other option.
There's no other option. It's like the way and the only way, you know?
And where can people, like if someone wanted to say, okay, I have $100, I have $1,000, I have 10,000. How do they reach you, or how do they offer their time or their service?
You can go to b.soulrichwoman.com, which is be.soulrichwoman, SOULRICHWOMAN
woman.
Yeah, .com.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so before we wrap up, on our last note, what would be your 14-year-old self if you had one piece of advice for her, when that backpack went across the wall, you know, the books went shoo, and you just, I'm sure you probably had a lump in your throat trying to hold back tears, what would you have told that you are now? What would you have told that little girl?
Your past does not equal to your future.
Wow, that's heavy. All these women of the world make me so emotional. I've never cried on Women in Power before. I interviewed this woman last week in Dubai, and she made me cry. And now you make me cry. You're so amazing. I cannot thank you enough for coming on this show.
Oh, you made me cry too.
Exposing this part of the world. And, you know, it's so amazing to me that what I'm finding on my journey around the globe and meeting the women of the world, that we all want the same thing.
Yes.
We all want to help each other.
Yes.
Not only ourselves, men as well, but we focus on ourselves for now.
Yes.
You know, and we all want to make a difference, and we all just want to be loved, be taken care of, take care of others, and it's really beautiful. It doesn't matter what culture you are, what religion, what color you're in.
Yes.
We all want the same things.
We all want the same thing. We want to be heard. We want our voices to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to be recognized.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
You are such a beautiful soul. This is a soul-rich woman. Thank you so much from Women in Power Singapore. Wow.